I finally watched it. Hello everybody, my name is Jesse and welcome to my channel. Better Call Saul has been for years an extremely acclaimed prequel to Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and I've been meaning to watch Better Call Saul for a while now, and I just kept putting it off, but I finally finished watching it. So today I wanted to give you my thoughts on this brilliant show. Ever since it came out, I had heard absolutely nothing but incredible things about Better Call Saul, and I knew I was gonna love it because I was a huge fan of Breaking Bad, and I really enjoyed Saul Goodman as a character in that. And so the fact that this was going to be a prequel and we were going to get to see more of these characters, I knew I was going to enjoy it. So I think beginning of this year, I finally started watching it, and just a couple of weeks ago, I finally finished the show, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So I'm just going to give you my real quick review of it. I loved all of the characters in this show to start with. I think this show does a really great job of adding to characters that we already loved from Breaking Bad, like Mike Ehrmantraut, Saul Goodman, Gus Fring, but it also made us fall in love with new characters such as Lalo Salamanca, who was a phenomenal villain, and a new character that's kind of like a drug dealer type character named Nacho. They really added so much to these new characters. And another one was Jimmy's brother, Chuck. They added so much to these new characters that made you fall in love with them, just like we loved the original characters. The writing in this show is brilliant, and Vince Gilligan is an absolute master at writing such brilliant dialogue, and they do sort of the same thing that Breaking Bad does, in that it can switch back and forth sort of. So even just from the very first season, they show you where things are headed toward the end of the show. They hint at what is to come for these characters, and I think that is absolutely amazing because it intrigues you right from the start, and it makes you curious what these characters' ends are going to be right from the beginning of the show. And I think it's absolutely brilliant how they're able to switch back and forth between timelines and just do that non-linear storytelling. I think it's awesome. I think this show does do a very good job of adding so many more layers to Saul Goodman as a character, and you see where he starts out as and where things go, and you see who he is even into Breaking Bad, and then by the end you see where his character ends, and I'll touch on that more in just a minute. But I do think this show did a great job of adding lots of layers to his character and his relationships and the different characters that he interacts with. I think they do a good job of making his character a little bit of a not necessarily conflicting character, but in the end, I mean, he's doing what he thinks is the right thing to do, but in the end, he's not necessarily a good guy. He's not really the hero. You know, he does bad things. He makes mistakes, and he does some bad throughout the course of the show. He rips many people off, and he kind of makes mistakes with his relationships with certain characters. And so I think that makes the ending that much more fitting. We see so much more of Gus Fring as a villain in this show, and I love that. We see where certain things where like Hector is also in this show, and we get a lot of answers in this show as to what certain things that happened in Breaking Bad. Like in this show, we finally get an answer as to why Hector is in a wheelchair and can't talk, needs that bell to kind of sign in a way in Breaking Bad, and for most of this show, really. We finally get an answer to that. And I'm just gonna, it's been out for a while now, I'm just gonna spoil the ending. If you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, maybe click off. But the show ends with Saul Goodman. He changes his identity to go on the run from the cops, and he eventually ends up getting convicted of his crimes, and he goes to prison. And the show ends with him on the other side of jail bars. And I think that is a very, I think it's a perfect ending. I think it's the ending that Saul Goodman really did deserve in the end. And he knows that he made mistakes, and now he needs to pay for those. And so I love where this show ended up. And like I've said throughout this entire review, I think everything in this show, the writing and the characters, is absolutely brilliant. What did you think of Better Call Saul? Let me know down in the comments below. And do you prefer Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul? I personally prefer Breaking Bad by quite a bit, but I do still love this show, and it's one that I can see myself rewatching in the future along with Breaking Bad. And I can probably enjoy Breaking Bad quite a bit more now, knowing where these characters end up and who they were before Breaking Bad. That's all I have for you today. Like I said, let me know what you thought of this show in the comments. And until my next video like this one, subscribe to my channel and keep watching movies and TV. Goodbye.